I thought it was about time for one of these videos where I kind of foam at the mouth over a certain modding project that I will absolutely love and adore. And that is the modding project Beyond Skyrim. Now, for those that do not know, Beyond Skyrim, which you really should if you're watching my channel, Beyond Skyrim is a massive project that tries to restore all of Tamriel into the Skyrim timeline. The only place they haven't got so far is the Somerset Isles, but every other province, including 2 islands like Roscuria, which is another Nordic island northeast, I think, of Solstheim, and Altmora, which is the original homeland of the Nords, they've got those 2 islands too, plus every province but the Somersets. Now, my favourite project is Beyond Skyrim, Cyrodiil. So they've got a pre-release for it, which is amazing, like hands down. I haven't even finished the main quest for it because I don't want to be spoiled. I want to actually do that when the mod comes out, which is the very first thing for me, because normally I'm always eager to jump in and do everything I possibly can to learn something about a project. But Beyond Skyrim Cyrodiil, it calls for me because my very first awakening into the Elder Scrolls fantasy universe was Elder Scrolls Oblivion. I was 14, I think, when I found it. I played Fallout 3, I went into the video store, back then when there were video stores, and I found a fantasy game. It looked very similar, kind of like to Fallout, and the dude behind the counter was like, yeah bro, the same people that made Fallout were the same ones that made this, and this came out before, and I was like, oh shit, yeah, nice. I remember looking at the back of the, because it was like Game of the Year edition by then, looking at the back of the case and seeing this hot golden chick, like, I was like, ooh yeah, fuck yeah, hot golden women, absolutely, and a cool holy knight and this Flesh Atronach in the back cover, and I was sold, man. I came into it and I played it, and I was just amazed. Oh my god, that's right, can't go any further. I was just amazed with what you could do, you know, and the world and the lore and all this sort of stuff. And this area right here was the first time ever that I felt like I wasn't in Cyrodiil. Like, these stone quarries right here, you don't find them in Cyrodiil at all. Now, the ground somewhat reminds me of the Rift, and so do the trees during spring. So I've got the climates of Tamriel on, and so I can kind of see that with the Rift, that these places look similar. And I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. Why there's so many dead people around here, man? Holy shit. But when I first walked into this valley, before you get cut off from the invisible border, this is where I felt like I was no longer in Skyrim. Skyrim's over those mountains, and this was like the first time ever I felt like in an Elder Scrolls game, in Elder Scrolls Skyrim modding, that I was no longer there. I felt like I was somewhere completely different. It's kind of weird playing a Stormplate doing this. And I loved it, man. And I don't know how far away it is. Hopefully it's a year or 2 off. But my most anticipated project is Beyond Skyrim Cyrodiil, where we are right now. Now, hopefully there's a few things that change, because the Cyrodiilic border to Skyrim is like just a gate that Riverwood has. I really hope when they fully release it that the border gate is like a fortified, like, fort. Like it's like got a massive wall there and forts surrounding it in case this, you know, because honestly it's not really defensible at all. It's just a wooden gate. It's kind of shit. But I think they will definitely improve upon that with the final release. Like Sky Oblivion has with their border gate. They've shown that off in images where it's like a massive fortification. Now, what's playable is Bruma, because Bruma is the closest thing to Skyrim, which was probably the easiest thing for them to get done when it comes to landmass. Obviously not, because there's still a tremendous amount of work, and as you can see, we've left the Bruma biome. We're now in we're leaving the frost now to the green. Now, I don't know all too that much about Cyrodiil, because I only played it for 4 years. I've played Skyrim for way longer. Even that tower up there, man, I don't think that was on the PlayStation, because I know on the Steam Workshop, the Steam sales, you can buy the 4 player style houses. The Mage Tower, which is that one. There's an Assassin's Lair. There's a Fortress. There's like a castle for the warrior. And I think there's one for a thief. I don't really know. I think might be only 3 houses for like a rogue assassin, or I don't know. But that right there was the Mage player tower home you could buy in Oblivion. Now, in the current timeline on Beyond Skyrim, it's now like the HQ of the Synod, the College of Whispers, which is there's two mage groups in Beyond Skyrim project. There's Synod, which is like the political version of the college, the Mages College, right? Because the Mage College split after they basically disbanded after the Oblivion Crisis, and two factions were made. Those that became too political with the Empire, which is the Synod, and those that wanted to remain the way they were, unaffected by the politics and the Empire, and they became the College of Whispers that now run that tower up there. So let's go have a look at it, because again, I played Cyrodiil Oblivion for like 3 years, and I was on the PlayStation version, so I could never access that player home. This right here was the sort of mage-styled home for the player in Oblivion. So you bought this off Steam, it came sort of as a little DLC, and this was your mage-inspired home. Now in Beyond Skyrim, this has got a new purpose. It's now the College of Whispers HQ, I think, or I don't exactly know, I've never been in here, in Oblivion or Skyrim, Beyond Skyrim. And yeah, it's kind of cool they're repurposing things that were made just for the player. And they're actually adding this, you know, College of Whispers as the new owners of it. So this has been... Whoa! 200 years? What the shit happened there? Oh, that's rough, dude. Was he important? Ah, well, not anymore. But yeah, this is the new... There's a new role for it. There's another place I want to go to. It's a unique place. It's only it's only one of its kind in Oblivion, like there's only one of its kind in Skyrim, and it's got the word Sky in it. Now, so in Skyrim you've got Skyhaven Temple, which is sort of a... Well, this one, they're kind of different in Cyrodiil and Skyrim, because it's actually like a locked door. No. Can we see it from here, though? I don't know if we can. Be up there in the mountain somewhere. Let me just clear the weather real quick. God damn, that's bright. I think that might be it. Yeah, that's it, right in front of us. That right there. So, this one's Cloud Ruler Temple. Now, when it comes to the games I play, the first thing I do is the main quest. Everything else is side business. Cloud Ruler Temple was like this unique, beautiful, Japanese-styled building in Cyrodiil. The only one of its kind. Very much like Skyhaven Temple. But Skyhaven Temple, I don't think was necessarily a Blades HQ. It was more of an Akaviri HQ. This obviously was an Akaviri HQ, but was turned into the Blades HQ. Now, in Oblivion, it's kind of where you take Martin Septim. Once you find him and secure him, you take him from Kvatch, which I think is... am I even going to be able to see it on this build of Beyond Skyrim? I got my kind of maps kind of backwards, so I don't know if I'll actually even see it, but I think... where would Kvatch naturally be? So I'm looking in the wrong direction. Is Kvatch, I think, would be down this way. That one could be Kvatch. It looks similar. It's got the little windy road. But I could be very wrong. I've been wrong before. Could be Coral. But, it's that way. I got everything backwards. The Skyrim's north and this is south. Now you take him from Kvatch to Cloud Ruler Temple, and it's covered with these blades wearing sort of samurai armor, this sort of samurai sort of building. It's a beautiful place. It really is. It's gorgeous. It's kind of the backup location to protect the Emperor. If he's attacked in the White Gold Tower, they deliver him from there, take him up to Bruma, and he's safe in Skyhaven Temple. But it's been 200 years since the fall of the Septims, and well, that time has taken its toll on Cloud Ruler Temple. But not that time. More recent time has really taken its toll on Cloud Ruler Temple. And that's what I love about this project. It accounts for lore. It accounts for not just the old histories, like hopefully they'll put like a Battle of Bruma down here with an Oblivion Gate. But they've got more recent histories, the old Merry Dominion. Let's go check it out. I remember Joffrey giving me his horse, I think it was a white horse, and you follow behind Martin Septim. And you come up here and there's blades up there kind of looking down, watching the Emperor enter this great ancient Akaviri fortress. And it was so bustling, full of life. You know, there was guards everywhere. They were named guards. They were just generic blade guards, but they were named. Like, you know, if you go to Kvatch, you go to anywhere, even in Skyrim, you see Whiterun guards, you kill them, they respawn. These guards didn't. They didn't really have a main purpose unless it was like a battle they needed to enter if they were still alive. But you could kill these guards and they would never respawn. And it was just like a very beautiful place, one of its kind in all of Oblivion. And back then though, it was full of life. Now in recent history, the old Merry Dominion sacked the place, killing all the remaining blades. The only two that we know of, there's 3 of them actually, or 4 of them. 4 of them escaped. There's one you find in the Bloated Grotto, his sword's there, but he died, I think, and it might be 5, and then you find another one with another sword. There's one in Nightgate Inn who actually has a blade activator and he's a drunk, so he's got some post-traumatic stress issues he's sorting out with alcohol. And you've got Esbern, and you've got what's her name? I forgot her name. She's a bitch, Delphine. It's kind of funny that you can't get the surviving 3rd blade, who is the drunk in Nightgate Inn. You'd think that the Dragonborn returning and the blades reopening that he might return to his duties, but this is what happened to all of them. The Dominion soldiers sacked the place, burnt it to the ground. You know, I can just imagine elves running up here right now and cutting down the surviving blades. Now, in modern history, it's also got a little thing to it. When you walk to these doors, there's this really cool moment. I don't know if you can walk to these doors or another set of doors, but you find sort of a cool little quest that kind of sort of shows the modern history of what's happened here.
Zone. What are you doing here?
Fine. If you won't leave, go. Find Alina. Tell her we need her at the front, immediately.
Remember this place, man. There was a big fire pit over there. It felt like it'd warm the room because you're in a cold region. And this bit right here, this seal on the ground, I think it's like an ancient Akaviri seal, but I remember Martin Septim put like a ritual down here and he opened up a gate to Markan Cameron's realm of Oblivion. And it was right here, and like, you know, you'd put the seal down, you'd walk through it, and you'd go and you'd kill Markan Cameron, his name was? But yeah, look at the place, you know, it's 200 years later and it's now empty. It's been empty for 30 years. Everyone that was in here died to the Dominion. And it's so crazy to be back here. It's like, that's what I prefer about video games. Like, I wouldn't mind going back to a map I've already been to. Especially if it's been 200 years in lore time. I mean, in Oblivion you walk through, it's full of life. It's colourful, it's protected, it's full of people. It feels alive. But in Beyond Skyrim, 30 years after its fall, it feels destroyed, emptied, filled full of ghosts, which it literally is. And you can look back on the memories of your Oblivion character walking through the portal that was placed right here on the seal, and the fire pit that was cooking, and it was just, it brings back so much beautiful nostalgia, and I love it. Like, it's just something can't really be described. And I wonder if Esbern or even Delphine is mentioned here. Like, were they here when it happened? Were they running away? Like, will you hear, you know, one of these ghosts mention Delphine, telling her to get to the front? Because, what did you say, Alina or Laura? We don't know who that blade is, you know? And this ghost is obviously reliving, he's constantly, every day, reliving his death for old Merry Dominion's attack. And that's going to be an awesome quest to discover. I never did it because I don't really want to until the full release. But, again, this is absolutely just, it's amazing for an Oblivion player, you know, seeing all this again in Skyrim. Now, I do, you know, if you subscribe, you know what I do, but I do like a Skyrim series where it's like role-played with like many different playable characters. They all have their own quests. You've got guild characters, Civil War characters, and then the Dragonborn and miscellaneous supernatural characters, that sort of stuff. Where it's Skyrim, I kind of play Skyrim like it was written in a book, or it wasn't played by the one mighty Dragonborn that did all. And this is one of them. This is Sigund Bearclaw. She's my Stormcloak character, and I play Imperial side in the game. That's the side that wins the war. But I wanted to play both perspectives, and this is my Stormcloak character. And like, the reason I had to do that so well in Skyrim, play multiple different characters, have their stories link and have their stories feel unique and not like they're crossing over or retconning each other, is because I've played Skyrim for goddamn 13 years. And I want, my dream for that series is eventually to save it, and then when Beyond Skyrim Cyrodiil comes out, spend at least a few months playing the absolute shit out of this, and learning where I could take these stories from my Skyrim. Like, I want to bring Sigund here, you know, I want her to be part of Beyond Skyrim Cyrodiil's story. Because I do this with voiced AI, it sounds exactly like the character's voice that I use, so I use the female Nord for Sigund. That might not actually be it. But, like, the voiced AI sounds way too real, and it's kind of like, when I do these characters, it's what they're thinking at that moment is what you're hearing. And I would love to come into Cyrodiil in like a year after the events of Skyrim Civil War and the year after events of the Dragon Wars, and have these entirely new stories of this character. This is kind of a spoiler if you subscribe and you like the stories, but like after the war's done, she's eventually found, imprisoned, and then maybe even, you know, I like to think she joins Centaurus, my Imperial character, and joins a legion. You know, at a very certain point, maybe during this time in Bruma, she will put down the Stormcloak armor, which she hasn't worn in a long time, but she'll wear the Imperial armor and serve the Empire in the future. But I'd like to think she comes here with Centaurus back to his homeland where he was born and help Cyrodiil. You know, comes back to the heartland of the Empire. And this is kind of the dream of that, to take these characters and even make new ones, man. Like, I'm thinking of like my story, right? Because I've been doing this for 11 months, and I like doing these. It doesn't matter how many views I get. But like, how many more characters could I build previous to Skyrim's story here in Cyrodiil, have their own story arcs, maybe a Synod character or a College of Whispers character or a Fighters Guild character that eventually when the dragons reappear in Skyrim, that they decide to leave and go north into Skyrim to help the Dragonborn out. How many characters could I create here with their own original stories that would go into Skyrim and help the Dragonborn? If they survive, they return back home, and then later on during that story, the Dragonborn or Centaurus, because I'm not too sure they care if you're a Dragonborn or not, I'm not sure it's relevant, that when you return, that, like, you met these characters that have helped you out. Like, I just imagine, like, you know, a character in Cheydinhal that became the Holy Crusader, or a thief in the Thieves Guild chapter of, I don't know, like, I don't imagine the Thieves Guild character in Cyrodiil would help the Dragonborn, but I'd love to create characters here in Cyrodiil while the Skyrim questline story is still active, and then his heroes from across Cyrodiil hear about the dragons returning, and hear that the Dragonborn needs help, and they travel north into Skyrim. And then eventually when that's all done, I can have my Skyrim characters come to Cyrodiil after the events of, you know, both the main quest line and all the other characters' quest lines, the Dragonborn quest line, all that sort of crap, and they can come and try and fix Cyrodiil. And I love that. And by the time I'm thick into this, maybe another province will come out like Morrowind or Blackmarsh, or both very exciting landscapes and people, very alien to our fantasy. And that's kind of the dream for my Skyrim series. This is why I've started, this is why it's going slow. I imagine I'll definitely finish it, probably get through a second run of it by the time Beyond Skyrim comes out. But, like, this is kind of where I want to take these stories. I want the Dragonborn, you know, it started with this young, innocent woman to basically walk through the gates of Cyrodiil as this, like, strong, take no sort of shit, hardened warrior. That sort of thing. I don't know. I'm just losing myself in ideas of like what I could do, but I think I would need to play Beyond Skyrim for at least 6 or so months to know, to kind of, you know, to know where I want to go with it. Because again, I'm only able to do these stories and make sense of them all because I've played Skyrim for so long, and this is going to be an entirely new game. Beyond Skyrim is going to be an entirely new game. You know. Entirely new multiple games in different provinces. Cyrodiil, now where am I facing north? I've got to make sure I'm in the right direction. Blackmarsh, that way. Morrowind, that way. I'll get my hierarchy thing backwards, I think. That's High Rock, and that's Hammerfell. And there's Elsewhere over there. You can see the Elsewhere sort of border. You can see it like the Rocky Mountains. And of course Valenwood's right beside it. Where am I looking? I think it's over there. I think it's over there. Or is it over there? I think Somerset's all the way over there. But whatever. You're going to have all these projects to be lost in. And honestly, man, it's the perfect time to be starting to mod Skyrim, because you could buy a $2,000 PC which runs Skyrim easily. Alright? Not even that. Like, $2,000 is overkill for Skyrim. Way overkill for the modern day. And then you're going to have all these projects that reintroduce Tamriel into the base Skyrim game. Entirely new games. God, I miss Elliot Ruins. Creepy sons of bitches. And, I don't know, man. To me, it's the future of Elder Scrolls. It's honestly, like, I will fanboy like a fucking little girl when Beyond Skyrim, Elder Scrolls 6 comes out. I'll buy that shit quicker than you can blink. Because we've all waited a very long time for it. 13 plus years. But, at the end of the day, I think I'm going to be one of those gamers that are still playing Elder Scrolls Skyrim in his 40s. Like, there's still Morrowind people doing that now that were like 17 when Morrowind came out, and they were so jaw-dropped by the experience of the role-playable games, open world, and the multiple choices and multiple guilds, that they just lost themselves to those games and never been able to put them down, like I have for Skyrim for the last 13 years. And with mods like Beyond Skyrim, you know, Cyrodiil coming out hopefully first, and then Morrowind and Black Marsh and Elsewhere and Valenwood and Three Kingdoms, which contains High Rock, Hammerfell and the Orcs, Orsinium, sort of tucked away realm. It's just, you've got an unlimited playability to an already unlimited playability game. It's like unlimited power. Proper unlimited power, shooting a black dude out of a window. You know? But, yeah, and this is my Elder Scrolls dream, and I can't wait. You know, as soon as, like, if I wake up one day and they say, here's an Elder Scrolls Beyond Skyrim Bruma trailer, and it's like 4 or 5 months away, I will shit a solid brick. It'll come out shaped like a square. And, like, normally they'll go, finish Skyrim's main quest before you do this. Not a single person, as soon as that comes out, no matter how far away they are, no matter where they are on a DLC map or whatever, is going to wait to finish the main quest. It's like, you'll jump into that shit straight away. You are head first. You were going raw dog into this quest line. Because they want you to finish Skyrim's main quest because it'll probably enhance the story, but also for the fact that the Dark Brotherhood quest line to kill the Emperor. There's two kinds of quests for Beyond Skyrim Cyrodiil. There's the godly sort of fateful quest, you know, like the big bad in the shadows, like you got Elduin's one. And there's the political quest, like the one in Skyrim with the Civil War. So you've got two main quests. The evil and the political. Evil in this is going to involve the Night of the Nine quest line, and you're going to be fighting the undead, a lich, I'm pretty sure, like an old alien king. And for the political side, it's going to be trying to choose an emperor. And to do that, the last one needs to be dead. And if you don't do that, during a certain part of the quest line, a message box will pop up and saying continue or go back and do Skyrim's quest line. If you continue, you miss out on the Dark Brotherhood quest line because the Emperor will be killed by somebody else and all that sort of stuff. But again, like, I don't think anyone, doesn't matter how, like, it doesn't matter if you've been playing this for like a year or so, or 2 years, or your save is 2 years old, 3 months old, 2 days old. Mate, as soon as you get, like, if you're still using the default Skyrim starter up, where you get arrested and get to Helgen, you're out of that cave, man, you're straight into the Pale Pass, you're straight into Cyrodiil. There's no waiting. Like, there's no waiting. We've been waiting to leave Skyrim for 13 years. And you give us that shit in the space of a heartbeat, before we've even downloaded and installed the mod, we're already there. Anyway, I thought I'd just do a video where I just kind of froth at the mouth of the ideas of Sky Oblivion. Not Sky Oblivion. I love that one too. Beyond Skyrim, because this is a project that I've absolutely loved since I first found out about the news that you can see the Imperial City from like a Markarth mountain or some shit. And this has just been a passion project for many modders, and I physically just, well, I'll probably cry, man. I'll probably cry. I'm a grown-ass man, but I'll cry when this comes out. But this is a project that I've been waiting for a long time with a lot of other players and modders, and I hope it's in a couple of years. But anyway, I've talked for way too much, for way too long. Hope you guys have enjoyed. I'm out of here, and see you guys in the next video. Hopefully a story video this time, or next time. Fuck me, I gotta get out of here.